back with another video, and I'm going to teach you how to remove late payments within 7 to 10 business days. So make sure you stay all the way to the end. Comment below if you have some late payments that are stubbornly not coming off of your credit report. So there are a few steps that you can actually take to remove these late payments off of your credit report, and I'm going to give you the few ways that I know how that I've been successful with. Disclaimer: if you have a late payment with Capital One, I just want to start out by saying they are literally the easiest to get a late payment updated with. So if you do have one with them, these methods definitely work on them the most. As a whole, when it comes to auto loans, it can be a hit or miss situation, not gonna lie to you, but I'm gonna give y'all the full breakdown on what you need to do to remove those late payments off your credit report. So first and foremost, we want to start out with which late payments are removable, which ones are actually affecting your credit. Honey, if you have a late payment from 2017, it is no longer affecting you. It's not something that's holding you back from being financed. I promise, if you apply for a credit card, a home loan, or a car, they're going to approve you. If your credit scores and profile is good, it's not because of those old late payments. And don't worry about if it says your payment history is 99% and the last late payment you had is from 2017. Any late payment that you have, once it is 2 years old, it is no longer affecting you negatively as far as long-term financing. To be totally honest, after 6 to 12 months of you paying on time from that last late payment, you will see a significant difference in your credit score, and you won't have an issue as far as being financed. So if you've gotten a recent late payment, that is my biggest suggestion to you. Especially if you have a lot of them, you want to be on time for the next 6 to 12 months, because the more you're on time, the more it just helps showing like, hey, you went through some things, but you got back on track. So any late payment that is within the last 2 years, those are the ones that could be affecting you from being financing. But really, after 1 year, as long as you're being on time after that 1 year, you're good to go. When it comes to disputing late payments, this is something that's really important for you guys to know and understand. I had a bunch of late payments on one of my auto loans a few years ago. It was pretty much before, I became Rose Credit Repair and I was getting my funds together. So I had a bunch of late payments on my auto loan. So once I did reestablish my credit, build everything up, I started trying to dispute those late payments. I was calling in, I was emailing, I was doing everything you could think of. So when I contacted them, they said, if you have more than 3 late payments, it is considered a pattern, so they cannot update it as a goodwill gesture or remove it, because they do have to report accurate information. So what does that mean for you? If you have 1 to 3 late payments on your credit report and they are within the last year, I can help you remove those using these steps, and this is what you need to do. Step 1 is you're going to call the company and ask them. I do suggest you try to speak with the supervisor on this situation and say, hey, I was going through some things. If for some reason you got a new debit card or your auto pay did not work, you can let them know that. Sometimes they'll say, hey, if you have any proof you got a new debit card or you had some fraud issues with your account, your auto pay didn't go through, if you can show us that, then we can update that late payment for you as a courtesy. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to call them and let them know what the situation is. Ask to speak with a supervisor, because you may be able to just get the late payment updated that way, especially if you only have one. That's going to be your step 1. So if they don't agree to do it online, you're going to go to step 2, and this one here is going to be the game changer. I promise y'all, I have done this for so many of my clients and it has worked. They've updated it if they only had about 1 to 3 late payments, especially Capital One. This is where your knowledge is going to come in. You can actually email the CEO of the company about the late payment. What's going to happen is when you send out this email, they are going to then contact you, and they're going to either call or email you back and say, hey, we got your request for a dispute. We're going to do an investigation, and we will respond within 7 to 10 business days and let you know what we decide. So for all the naysayers out there, let me start out by saying, when you email the CEO, yes, they will actually check their email. You have to think about it. As a business owner or a CEO of the company, you check your email every day. You may not get an exact response from them, but you're going to get a response from the disputing department because they're going to forward that over to them directly. How do I know? Because I've done this for myself and I've done this for clients. So when you're emailing the CEO, you need to email them from the email address that is associated with your actual account with them so that they already know it is confirmed that it's you. And then in the email itself, give your name, your basic information, no social or anything is needed. And you're going to tell them your story. I would suggest that you give a very heartfelt, deep story about your situation. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you were in the hospital. You could have been dealing with a fraud situation. If you were dealing with a situation where you had to get a new bank account or debit card, I would definitely, send in some type of screenshot proof, just at least from your email showing you requested a new debit card to be sent in the mail. If you had an auto pay issue, let them know, hey, I didn't know. Whatever the issue is, you need to explain in depth. Go into detail, give a real heartfelt story. Don't try to keep it short and brief. You really want to let them know what your situation is so that they can prompt that investigation. This is also one of the fastest ways to get a response for your late payment dispute because they're going to respond to you within 7 to 10 business days versus you disputing online or disputing with the credit bureaus and it takes 30 days for a response. This is going to be directly with the company themselves. So I know you're wondering, how do I find the CEO's email address? What do I put in the email? How should I structure everything on there? What do I need to say? Well, no worries, because if you look at the link in the description, I'll also link it somewhere up above. You can get my late payment removal kit where I'm going to give you the email address to all the CEOs, the companies that I have. Most people have either credit cards or auto loans with. I'm going to also give you the email template of what I normally send out to them when I'm sending this email over. And I'm going to give you a step-by-step on what you need to do so that you can go ahead and get this late payment removed off your credit report. If you want to search yourself, Google is your best friend, boo. Google is your best friend. You don't know the CEO's email address? Google them. If it says more than one, put both of those, send it to both. Let them know what your situation is and shoot your best shot. The main thing for you to know is that this does really work. I have done it several times. And these are your best two options if you have 1 to 3 late payments on your credit report. So remember, if you have a late payment within the last 6 to 12 months, you should shoot your best shot in trying to dispute and remove those late payments on your credit report. If it's over 2 years old, please stop worrying about it. It's not going to stop you from buying a home. I know this for a fact. Anything that's over 2 years old with late payments, they're not even going to include that into a factor if you've been on time since. So now is the time. Take you some time, set it aside, get your late payment removal kit below so you can get the email address to the CEOs, construct your email, send it over to them. I would say if you don't hear back within 3 business days, resend the email. Sometimes people may miss it, whatever the case may be, but you are going to get a response so that they can prompt that investigation so we can start removing these late payments. We want our credit to be superb. Alrighty, you guys, so make sure you get your late payment removal kits in the description below and follow these steps. Whether you get it or not, you can follow these steps to remove the late payments off of your credit report. If you have something within the next 6 to 12 months that were recent, go ahead and start disputing your late payments. That is a great way to boost your credit scores because one late payment can drop you 20 to 40 points. So that same points that you lost, you can gain it back by removing those. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's Rose. Thank you again for hanging with me here at Rose Credit Repair. And don't forget, like, subscribe, comment below if you have any credit questions. I'm going to be answering them myself in the comments. So you know what to do. Until next time.